when somebody's better than you at something that you care about and that you take pride in being good at relative to yourself, does it motivate you that they're better than you, or does it get you down? Like, does it inspire you, or does it like take some energy away from you, especially if there's certain metrics that dictate that they shouldn't be better than you? Do you get envious or do you get jealous? Personally, I'm not too sure if there's a very specific definition between the two, but I understand envy as when you see somebody with something that you don't have, or do something that you can't do. It fuels you to achieve that, attain that, whatever that may be. Whereas jealousy is just negative in the sense of you see them do something or have something that you don't have or can't do, and it makes you feel shit. I'd be a liar if I said every single time I move in the direction that serves me, i.e. the direction that inspires me, rather than the direction that saps energy out of me. And I think, personally, as a human being, instinctually, it's something we have to train ourselves to do, because it's instinct to be jealous sometimes, and to be envious, and to feel something burn inside us when we don't have something that we desire, or somebody can do something to a better level than us. I think it's a skill. It's something that we need to practice, and we must practice. We must practice the art of allowing somebody that's better than us or has something that we don't have to inspire us to go and attain that or achieve that feat, and use them as a, I don't want to say measuring stick, but use them as a reference point to tell yourself what you want to either be or what you want to have. Because I got thinking about it today, and the first thing that pops into my head was, I hear a lot of people say how inspiring it is and how motivating it is being in a gym and being one of the smallest guys, so on and so forth. And I've experienced that on a regular basis. I'm never the biggest guy in the gym, even if it's quiet. I'm just not that big of a person. However, I've never really heard people talk about how they love not being able to do the most pull-ups, or their deadlift looking weak weight-wise relative to the people in their gym, not being the strongest, not having a nicely formed squat, or not being the most flexible, so on and so forth. All I ever feel like I've heard is, I'm not the biggest. And that's people's yardsticks, that's people's measuring sticks. Personally, size has never really been that thing for me. Like, I'll communicate with guys on a regular basis that clearly bodybuild, and their main prerogative in the gym is to grow. And I seldom, if ever, find myself there thinking, yeah, I want to be as big as you, or I want to be I don't know what I'll say. Yeah, I want to be as big as you. I can't recall a time I've ever felt that way. I've never really felt that about size. However, when it comes to movement feats, i.e. being able to do a muscle up, being able to do the splits, having a beautiful arse to grass squat, having a tidy and very heavy deadlift and snappy, that gets me. And if I'm not careful, and if I'm not as in control as I should be, that can lead me down a path of being a little bit jealous, to the point where it doesn't serve me and it doesn't fill me with energy that pushes me forward and propels me forward. Thankfully, it's something, again, that I've been practicing from a young age, mid to late teens. When I was first exposed to the concept, and the other day was the first experience I've had of it in a while, of where it kind of triggered me a little bit negatively, but not because of the person did anything wrong, but just because it got me thinking about myself. And in many ways, what the person said spoke to me in a way that I really care about. I love the idea of exercising and moving in a way where you're using your entire body, and you're not isolating to the point where you are being detrimental towards other muscle groups. My friend was doing a pull-up, and he was doing weighted pull-ups, and I offered him my belt with the chain, because he was doing it with a dumbbell between his legs. And he goes, and I said, "Oh, do you want a belt?" And he's like, "Nah, that's what my adductors are for." I was like, "You motherfucker." I've always done my weighted pull-ups with a belt, because I just find it really fucking uncomfortable with a dumbbell. And that triggered me in a very good and healthy way, because I was there and I looked inside myself. I had to look into myself, like, "Bro, that's a very good point." Like, you talk all this talk about liking to exercise in a holistic way, but you've been slacking on the pull-ups. Anyway, long story short, that was the end of that. And I did my weighted pull-ups today with my belt again. However, I was speaking to this kid today, 18 years old, 78 kilos. I remember, he said 1 rep max on the deadlift. Short kid as well, so he might have really good levers. Look at me already coming up with excuses. His max dead is 190 kilos. Kid's been training for a year, just turned 18, and today he repped 180 for 3, and it looked pretty easy. Like, not easy, but as easy as a rep close to your 1 rep max can be. Man was popping 160 off the floor, pretty snappy, and it was fucking impressive. And I found myself in that place again. Am I going to allow myself to be jealous in a way that it doesn't serve me, or am I going to use this as fuel and as motivation? I'm a 25-year-old man. This guy is an 18-year-old kid. He's pulling more weight off the floor than me. And we can go around the houses like, "Oh, he's wearing a belt." "Oh yeah, you could argue that you could get 10, 15, maybe even 20 kilos more of a belt." I don't really give a shit about that. He's lifting the way he wants to lift, and I'm lifting the way I want to lift. And in the way that I want to lift, I can't lift as much as him. And he's got 12 kilos less mass to use, and 7 less years. And that was fucking I liked it. I enjoyed it. Today it very much fueled me in today's session. The experience the other day, it kind of took some energy away from me in that session, because I was just being a bitch. But today it fueled me, and I attacked my dead stop rows differently to the way I probably would have if I hadn't had that conversation. But it's something that I feel like a lot of people get lost in my experience. And I don't say that in a way where I feel like they get lost in it consciously. I feel like if I was to analyze from an outside perspective and without asking them to consciously look into it and get their opinion on it, if I was to analyze what I see, hear and feel from people around me that I communicate with, I wouldn't be surprised if, without realizing it, they're allowing themselves to lose energy and pay attention to thoughts and energies that aren't serving them. But sometimes sometimes it can be motivating and sometimes it can't. But again, if you're not careful with that, I feel like it can be a really delicate balance. And if you consistently find yourself at 50-50 with 50% of the time it's serving you and 50% of the time it's not, then like, how much energy are you wasting? How much are you expending on nonsense and shit that's not serving you? It's an interesting one, and something that I'm definitely going to talk to my closest people about more, just out of pure curiosity. Because I'm grateful for the fact that I've just got a habit of just using it as fuel. Just like, I don't care how old you are, what you look like, I don't care who you are. If you inspire me, I'll never hesitate to tell you. I'll never hesitate to be inspired by you. You could be a baby, fam. You could be a 6-year-old. You could be 18-year-old, 78 kilos. I'm repping 180 kilos on a deadlift with a belt. Cool, you're not doing it the way I want to do it. I don't care. Like, I'm going to use you as inspiration. I'm going to let you inspire me. I'm going to open myself to your energy, so to speak, and allow that to enter me and feel me, and just use whatever the fuck I can, man. Use whatever the fuck I can. I really fucking enjoyed that today, and I have a lot of respect for that kid. And there's a lot. It's crazy. Like, my gym's not really. It's a commercial gym. The gym that I spend the majority of my time at is a commercial gym. Well, the only gyms I go to are commercial gyms. They're not really bodybuilding focused. But of course, bodybuilding being the most popular gym trend, so to speak, the majority of guys there that consistently tend to use mostly bodybuilding principles. However, there are a lot of young kids, whether, I would say anywhere between the 17 to 21, 22 years old range, at the gyms that I go to, that I look at and I take my hat off to them. I got my own race to run. I can't sit here and fucking hate and allow myself to be jealous or sit there and wish that I had started at your age and la-di-da-di-da. Nah, bro. I'm a give you your props. I'm gonna take some of that energy that you've got, that youthful energy, that youthful exuberance. I'm gonna take some of that for myself, steal some from you, put my work in, and just use it as fuel, man. I really enjoyed today's workout. It was fun. Shout out that kid. 18 years old, 78 kilos, 190 kilo deadlift. My fucking guy. I'll see you tomorrow.